Hi everyone, Miss Lamb here. Today we're going to be talking about troubleshooting some common issues on our flute. So the first issue is the fact that sometimes you are not able to get a sound on the head joint. So for this one, there could be a couple things. Make sure that this is really sealed all the way. Make sure that this is centered. So sometimes it's difficult if somebody doesn't realize that their tone hole is way off to one side. So make sure that it's centered. Another common thing that could happen is if your tone hole is rolled way in too far or way too far out. No matter how good everything else is, it's not going to work if it's completely one direction. So just make sure that everything is good to go in that regard. The other thing that can happen sometimes is if your airstream, you're blowing it too far down or too far up. So some of those issues can just be solved by changing the direction that you're aiming your air. And I'll talk about that in a second when we talk about the different registers on the flute. Okay, another common problem is only being able to get super high notes or only being able to get super low notes. So one of the cool things about the flute is a lot of fingerings are the same for the low and the high, which makes remembering them easier, but it also sometimes you get the one that you don't want. So when we are trying to get a low note on the flute, we're trying to aim our air a little bit further down. When we're trying to get a high note on the flute, we're trying to aim our airstream upwards. So here is a low C. So my air, I'm kind of aiming this way. Now I'm going to play a high C. My fingers won't change, as you'll see, but I'm going to think about aiming my air upwards. So that I'm trying to hit like a light that is on the ceiling with my air. So if you're only getting high notes, try aiming that air lower. If you can only get the low notes, try aiming it a little bit higher. Another thing that could be causing you to only get low notes is if your aperture, which is the opening between your lips, is too big. So that you just would need to close your aperture a little bit because it's really difficult to get up into the upper register, even if you're doing everything else correctly, if this opening in your lips is too big, even if your airstream is going the correct direction. Again, we'll go over more of these in lessons, but that's just if you're having those particular issues, that could help you out a little bit, and I will see you in your lesson. Bye.